From Fidelity Bank is
Yay.
joining us in studio. Good friend of ours. How are you, young lady?
I am doing fabulous. How are you guys?
Good. You brought a guest with you that had a little bit of rerouting going on, and we thank you for being here. Introduce our guest.
Okay, I'm excited. We have Sam Parker here, and he's from My Credit Guy. And I'm going to let him kind of explain
He's your credit guy?
Well, it's
Or is he
that's
my
his
credit
name
guy?
well, he's everybody's credit
Oh.
guy. But his company is called My Credit Guy, and he's going to kind of explain his background, which is really unique and interesting, and then how that will, of course, relate back to mortgages and financials.
Okay, perfect. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining
Hey, yeah,
us.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I actually fell into credit repair and credit education when I was almost 20 years old. And
How do you fall into something
well,
like this? Seriously.
Yeah, I don't.
Did something happen? And
No, well, I was looking for a great reason to stop going to school, so I'll start with that.
All right, and there's a lot of people that can relate to that.
Yeah, it just wasn't meshing, and I don't know how they get your number, but a headhunter had called me and said, hey, we hear you're pretty decent on the phone. Would you like to come and kind of help launch a sales department? And I said, wow, that sounds better than going back when school starts. So it gave me a good reason to pursue something that I was a little bit more passionate about. And over the years, it's just become a true passion of mine, really helping people achieve home ownership. Especially, I'm all about underdogs. And when people are told no or you can't do something, and then they find a way to persevere and come through that and make it happen, I'm all about helping people do that, and that's what we do with great lenders like Amber.
So how does My Credit Guy work?
Yeah, so for the most part, what we do is we work with lenders all over the country. And when people are trying to go and get a home loan or any financing, but mostly with home loans, they'll try to get financed, and maybe Amber has to give them the bad news that, hey, I can't help you out because your scores are too low, or
Okay.
this is on your credit from the past, and that client says, I disagree with that. That shouldn't be there. That's been there too long, or something like that.
Okay.
And then we'll go in and we'll help the client remove and update inaccurate items. We help them negotiate debts if they have any of those things lingering over their head. We'll help them establish positive trade lines, all the things that need to happen in order to get a score trending upwards so they can then qualify for that home loan.
Now, you mentioned the scores, and then there's been a lot of publicity about scores and what your credit score is, and maybe somebody has one that's not necessarily great, and they find there's something that's wrong on their credit report, or maybe something that should not be there anymore. What's the first thing that you do?
Yeah, so what I'll do is a detailed interview with them and figure out what they disagree with and why, because there's lots of misperceptions out there about what should be there and what shouldn't be there, how long it can be there legally, and all that good stuff. But if they determine that it's truly inaccurate, I'll go after it and I'll get it either deleted or updated to the proper status.
Okay, and then how long does that take to reflect on the score?
About 30 days.
Okay.
30 days, and then we would at that point get them back to their lender, and they'd repull credit and then be able to continue with their goals.
Wow. So is this something that's done over the phone, online, face-to-face? How does this work?
It's whatever the client's comfort level is. We have plenty of reps here in Iowa, but for the most part, just for convenience, it's phone, fax, and email. A client will just reach out to us and say, hey, I have an issue. We'll pull up their credit report, take a look. Within a couple minutes, we can tell them whether or not we can help, how much we can help, how long it's going to take, and what that would translate to in cost. And then that way we're all on the same page when we start down that road.
And you said you're really out there for the underdog. So are you seeing people that have been told no quite a bit, and you're there saying yes?
Yeah, the problem is that, especially with the mortgage industry that we work with, there's the lenders out there like Amber and like Fidelity Bank that are willing to work with their clients who aren't just perfect right away. They're fewer and fewer. So many times these clients have been told no by one bank or two banks or three mortgage companies, and then finally they get a hold of somebody that goes, you know what, I got a credit guy that can help you through this. And then they've been told no multiple times, and so finally when someone tells them, we can help you, it's just going to take a little bit of time, they're thrilled.
People can get into credit problems with their credit scores really easy. Are there any tips you can give people just to be aware of to kind of make sure that you don't stumble?
Yeah, I got a couple tips that are more like the don'ts than the do's.
That's fine. So that's a good thing.
So one thing
because the don'ts are the ones that get you in trouble.
They
Right,
are, and
that's
there's so
true.
many pitfalls. So like the biggest one that I see is that clients will go out and they're trying to make good on their past errors, and they'll start paying off collections, charge-offs, profit and losses that they see on their credit report, and they think that they're doing something good. Well, unfortunately, it's not the way the credit scoring algorithm works. When you pay a collection off from the past, even though you're making good on a debt, it'll they'll reactivate that account, re-age it, and the credit scoring algorithm basically thinks that there's a new collection on your credit report, even though it's now a $0 balance.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so when you pay it, your scores go down.
So what do you do?
So what we would do in that situation is we would try to help the clients negotiate what's called a pay for deletion, where it's just what it sounds. Hey, we'll pay this if you agree to remove it from the credit report, or if you agree to update it in a way where it's not going to negatively impact the credit. The other thing that we do is that, if there's, 3 or 4 of these items that we're dealing with and we have a creditor that's not willing to play ball with our clients, hey, we got another 3 people to talk to if you don't want to listen to us. So we'll go to somebody that's going to maybe be a little bit more reasonable.
And is this on a faulty loan, or you're not paying on a credit card, or why is this showing up so negatively on your credit score?
Yeah, so in that situation where we're trying to make a payment on it, it's going to be a situation where the client just stumbled in the past.
Okay.
And that happens so often
Right.
where, somebody gets sick or they lose a job or whatever, and you could just miss 1 month's of income, and then all of a sudden that's going to really mess your life up for the next 2, 3, 7 years sometimes. So the penalties for having a little bit of a stumble with credit are pretty severe.
Okay, so that's one don't. What's another?
Yeah, so the other one is that a lot of clients like to, as they're trying to work their debt down, they'll pay off credit cards and then they'll close them out. And that seems right, because it's like, well, I have 7 credit cards.
And you don't have any more.
Okay,
you
wait a
won't
minute.
charge
What are you
anymore.
going to say? What are you going to say?
I'm going to tell you to keep them open, but just be responsible with them. So credit, people don't like to hear this, but it's a game, and you got to play within the rules of the game. And the game says don't close out accounts, keep them open, because what creditors...
Even if you don't use them?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, is use them. So what you want to do... I know,
So Jackie,
I know.
what he's saying is keep your credit card
You're
and
not
use it.
helping
Right.
You are. I'm glad you're here.
So what you want to do is use them as tools. So you put a tank of gas on them this month, you pay it down to 50% of the balance next month, and then the next month you pay it off and put another tank of gas on. Because the other flip side of it is if you don't use them for 6 months, then they stop being factored into your credit scoring algorithm too.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, no, you want to get that positive. You want
See, I thought the same thing. I almost said the same thing.
You want to have those things working for you, because here's what happens. Like, let's say you have a credit card that's been open for 5 years and you've been paying on it on time every month, right? If you close it, or if the credit card company closes it on you due to inactivity, it's not just that you don't get credit going forward, it's that they take that last 5 years and throw it out the window like it never happened.
Really?
This is a one-sided credit scoring algorithm. It does not benefit the customer
Apparently,
at all.
yeah.
So you got
Wow.
to use them or lose them, basically.
All right, so again, you obviously can repair folks' credit scores. You know how to do that, and you're very good at that.
Obviously, yes.
So that is great, and that helps you, doesn't it?
Right, yeah. So when someone comes in and they do an application with myself or any of our lenders at the office, we have the ability to look at it and say, okay, like he said, maybe you've had some hiccups or some stumbling blocks, but our answer isn't necessarily no. It's, okay, maybe not right now, but we have an expert in our...
So you send me to my credit guy.
Send them to my credit
My
guy.
credit guy.
My
And he's part
credit
of the
guy.
great umbrella of people that you have at
Yeah,
Fidelity. And if
absolutely.
you work with a local bank that's willing to work with you one-on-one
Right.
personally, as opposed to going to someone that you can't be face-to-face with, that's what makes the difference. And they're going to make sure you get the house that you deserve and you want.
Right, absolutely. So give you a solution to the problem, not just saying no.
Perfect.
There you go. Now, people want to get in touch with you. What's the easiest way?
Now, the best way is you can give us a call at 343-2300, or of course our website is fidelitybank.house.
House.
Perfect.
And you can hook you up with your My Credit Guy, or just go to mycreditguy.com.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank
Good
you so
job,
much
Sam.
for joining
Thank you
us
so
today.
much.
Appreciate it.
All right, Amber, good to see you.
Thank you.
We will be right back. You are watching CW Iowa Live in West Des Moines. When we return, somebody is going to get themselves a brand new grill.
Me.